Hello, beautiful people. So, tonight I'm thinking about and talking about how the old structures, the ones that really aren't serving us, that aren't in our best interest necessarily, that they are. Hi, Daniel. Nice to see you. Shiloh. Hey, Irina. Nice. So, the old structures aren't working. It's time for us to um, be the tower, let it fall apart and bring it up from within once again. So nice to see you all. Atira, Spirit is calling out and saying that it would be lovely for you to have a card. So I was talking about turning the tides. And the old guard falling away. So, well, Irina, this was for you. So, what Spirit wants to see you, show you, is that the only things that are holding you back. I'm going to put this up close. So you can see the chains here and the people, and you can see that the devil can't even sit on this tiny little vestibule. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm going to call it that. So, and you can see, if I put it up close, you can see that the chains are so large that what is it possible for them to remove them? And yet they aren't. So there's something that you believe that is valuable for you staying where you are. However, the thing about the devil card is it says that you don't need to be bound by these old things, that really you could break free of them. And here's a great shamanic trick for this card and for breaking free. Any of us who have something that's holding us back, that we're chained to, you have the ability to remove that. So what I'd like you to do, and this is good for all of us, and who doesn't have anything that's holding them back? So you get a scarf or a big chain, necklace, and you put it around your neck and you take it off. And each and every time you remove it, you say, I remove the chains that bind me. And honestly, you do it until your arms are sore. Anything less is not going to do the trick for you. And when we give up too soon, what happens is that we let Spirit know that we're not determined because we gave up. So Irina, this one is for you. So whatever's holding you back, whatever you think, it's more of a thinking thing than a real thing. Whatever you think is holding you back, use that. I remove the chains that bind me. I remove the chains that bind me. I remove the chains that bind me. So that's a beautiful card for all of us to pay attention to when we feel like we're being held back. So Irina, that one's for you. Nice to see you tonight. Heather, hi. Anita, Trina. Let's see. Heather, hi. This one is for you. So what's happening now that's different, if you've been hanging out with me for a while, is that Spirit is now saying, oh, I want to give more information to this person. There's something here for you that you need to know. So Heather, this one is for you, the Hermit card. So we have the Devil and the Hermit. These are both major arcana. When major arcana calls out, shows up, it's attempting to get a message to you. So this is the message that this is bringing forth here, is that it's time for you to go to the mountain. And what this means in shamanic terms is that you do a little vision quest. And what that entails is it entails closing your blinds, unplugging all of your equipment, everything. No phone, no laptop, no electronics at all for a certain period of time. A traditional vision quest is 3 to 5 days out in the woods alone with just water. Now, today, in the way that I sometimes think this is girl vision Girl Vision Quest, and definitely Urban Vision Quest, where we unplug on Friday night and we don't replug until Monday morning. And take that time for yourself. Take baths, do yoga, meditate, do nothing. When was the last time that you spent 24 hours doing nothing? So the hermit calls out to you to be the one who's willing to do this, to be the one who's willing to take that time away. Because as any of us do anything, all of us benefit. So when I meditate, everyone gets the benefit of that meditation. When you take time for yourself, everyone around you gets the benefit of that. And if you have family, and you come out of this 3 days of locking yourself in your bedroom and you come back out and you're rejuvenated and you're you again. I talked in a little description about there, it's time for us to be us, be authentic, because no one else can be you. No one can bring your gifts into the world, and certainly no one can can come back out refreshed, renewed, and be the you that you have been. So that's the one card. They want to show you one more. So so this is a 9. 9s are completion. Wands are passion and fire and drive and connection to the divine. So when we have moved through something and it's behind us, oftentimes, and this is what we all do, we oftentimes ruminate in it. We rehash it. And then, like if we're going to go back anywhere close to that situation again, we rehearse ahead of time. So this is a mental wounding. It's over. It's done. It has been done for a while, but you keep on bringing it forward because you remember it again. And not only that, when we do this, when something happened to us back there and we remember it, not only do we just remember, but we talk about it, right? And we tell this person that happened and this other person. And sometimes it's 10 or 20 or even more years that it happened ago. And yet we can recount every single detail. So what I'm going to suggest that will help with this mental wounding is that you write your story. Whatever the story is that keeps on coming up, you write it out. You get one person to listen to you. And you ask them, please, not to say anything at all. You just want them to listen. So they listen through the process. And when you're done, no comments. You ask them, please don't say anything. All I want you to say is thank you. So they're saying the thank you. You've written it all out. You've told your story. Now what you're going to do at the end of the telling with just a thank you, you're going to burn the sucker. And you're going to take those ashes. Now, and you're going to take those ashes outside maybe, and you're going to dig a hole somewhere close to a plant, and you're going to put those ashes into the dirt. You're going to cover it up, and you're going to watch you're going to watch the new growth, because when you give plants ash, they just grow like crazy. So the way that this is going to get completely healed is by you doing that. Then take a little time for yourself so that you go and you regroup, you recoup, and then you come back refreshed and renewed. So there you go. That one's for you. Lovely. Hi, Jordan. How you doing? I'm going to pull this one for you. So This is lovely. I appreciate you all showing up, and I've got a class that I'm starting on shamanic tarot. It's going to begin on Beltane, which is May 1st. That's very auspicious on account of it's the great fertility rite of the year. So we're going to start studying tarot for 8 weeks and bring this wisdom into our body. So, Jordan, this one is for you. And you can see down here, there's some rough water. And Anita, thank you so much for putting the, yeah, we're gonna go from the fool to the world. Who doesn't want to do that, right? And we all start out the fool because we take that first step. So, Jordan, there's some emotional chaos down here. But look over here on the other side. There's so much more smoothness and freedom there. So that when you when you pull away, as opposed to pulling away, when you pull away from the chaos, there's thoughts that you have been thinking, and you don't want to disrupt these thoughts just yet. You want to wait till you get to the other side and you feel calm and relaxed and at ease. When you get there, and you can leave it a little space once you get there. You don't have to get there and then start throwing these swords out of the raft here. But when you do this, you're going to find a huge relief, because oftentimes what we do is we get stuck. This is what's happening here. Swords are thoughts and ideas, the mental realm. We get stuck in the stinking thinking, and it cycles. Someone I was listening to recently said that sometimes they wake up in the morning and they're in a loop, and they have to figure out how to get themselves out of that loop. Well, one of the best ways that you can do to get yourself out of that loop, especially if you wake up and it starts, is to meditate. And Deepak and Oprah just finished doing a meditation. Well, for me, it's their last day. But it's 21 days of moving towards grace. So when you interrupt, you wake up in the morning and it's like, woo, oh no, here I go again. Then you want to do an interrupt. And for me, what I've been doing recently is, first of all, I meditate. Then second of all, I don't have coffee. Not right away. And today, not so far. But I interrupt the pattern by doing something amazingly different. So this starts tricking the mind, because the mind doesn't know. The mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what we make up in our imagination. So a few years ago, I'll give you a little story. A few years ago, I was going on a trip, and I had mini money, mini, tiny money. But what I did was I went, you know what? I'm just going to imagine that I have this big stash of cash, and I'm going to go through this as if. And I did. And you know what? I almost came home with the same amount of money that I left with, because I tricked my mind into being willing and able to receive. And when you come from abundance, the ability that you have to draw in more is even more magnificent. So the little bit, and Jordan, look, it's not much chaotic thinking at all. And this movement across to the calmness is actually going to be, well, let's pull another card and find out. So the Seven of Pentacles. You have already seeded some things for yourself. One of them right down is ready to harvest and maybe even get rid of, right? But you still have 6 more. So if we fixate on either these or those, what happens, we become obsessed and we only see that. So know that you've seeded some things really well, that this one thing has fallen off the tree. It probably was it's probably a little rotten anyway, so you can let it go. But know that, I mean, this is a card of tending to the prosperity. Money, property, tangible things are what Pentacles are all about. So there you go. And you know what? Hold on one sec. Ooh, this is going deep. You're actually carrying someone else's burdens, and you may have been carrying these burdens while you were wherever is it that you were before you got in the raft. But so it's okay for you to drop these, and these burdens are not actually helping you. They were burdens that you were shouldering for someone else, and even maybe actually shouldering from someone else. So there you go, Jordan. Nice to see you. All right. Heidi, hi. How are you? So, hey, Max, how's it going? I was thinking about popping up there one of these days. Maybe 2 weeks from now. That would be good. Okay. So, Heidi, this one is for you. Fives are lessons. And so the lesson here, and I'm actually going to change from calling them lessons to calling them blessings. So it's just a B before the lesson, because they're blessings as lessons. If you can shift your mindset to, yeah, to I'm learning this. And if first of all you can stand and go, oh my God, I drew this to me. What was I thinking? And then, wow, what is the blessing here? So I'm going to tell you what the blessing here is. This is cups, emotions, the watery fluidity, and we know that they come in and they go out, right? This is the process of water. It flows. So when I see this card, I like to say, you know, Heidi, what you want to do is you want to lift your chin up. You want to turn around and look behind you, because 2 of the 5 cups are still standing. So what this means is that, yes, they're spilt. They are exhausted. They're over it. But there's 2 still remaining. And so with my beautiful optimistic way that I think about life, I go, oh, that's a must have. So you can know that whatever it is that's spilled out, there's half remaining if you want to turn around, go back and pick them up. So I'm just going to grab you another little card. Let's just see what Spirit has to say about that. Ew. All right. So here's your 2 of cups right here. See, they're over they're over here, right there. And look how they show up here. They show up as a 2 of cups for a meeting of 2 emotional equals. And see the caduceus here? There's a healing in this. And it comes from a higher perspective than you have. There's both the lion, which is all about standing your ground, being seen, being bold, but there's angelic assistance as well. So when you turn around and you look at those 2 cups, you have the opportunity to heal something. When I see the 2 of cups, first of all, I always take it internal, right? No matter what. This is probably the biggest lesson that I'll give you, is that whatever happens, once you call it a blessing, then you turn it around and you go, what did I do to create this? Okay. And even better still than what did I do to create this is how can I use this to move my life forward? All right. So you have the 5 of cups with some regret, remorse, turn around. It turns into a healing. So I'm going to grab you one more card. And look, that's because it's a spiritual wake up call that you're getting. So move through the loss, the boohoo, turn around, look at those 2 cups. Be healed by that and be aware that this is a wake-up call for you. That this is, hang on. Oh, so what I'm getting is that the only way that spirit could get this to you was for this to happen first. So your lesson is that, oh yeah, some things got spilled. It's a healing, and not only that, but it's time for me to wake up. And you don't have a choice. This is Gabriel blowing his horn 7 times. No one misses out. Okay, so, and the other thing is that by all means, if this is interesting to you, you have, well, you have lots of options, but I'm going to give you 2. One is that you get on my calendar and you get yourself a reading with me, because just think about this. If this 3 little minutes or 2 little minutes or 30 seconds or whatever is valuable, if you find this useful, can you imagine if we spent a whole half an hour together, what you could get? And then not only that, if you have the desire, then you can come and study shamanic tarot with me. I'm doing an 8-week class. We're going to talk about numerology. We're going to talk about a little bit about astrology, and then we're going to talk about how I see the tarot being a transformational tool and how you can use it shamanically. So there you go. All right, let me just have a look here. Philip, hello, how are you? Okay, so Spirit's calling out to you. Just 1 second. So this week there were a number of fires burning down old structures. And when this happens, when things get heated up, and when we are in a place to be able to stand our ground, be in our integrity, talk about what it is that's of value to us, what our priorities are, and move from that place of integrity. Some things are going to be burned away. You know, it's a little bit like the phoenix rising. The phoenix can't rise and be reincarnated or rejuvenated unless the fire comes up and it's down to ashes. So there you go. Hi, Candy. Hi, Tammy. And Philip. So you're on a quest. And this night is highly charged and taking off, sometimes without, even though he's a thinking night, it's swords, thoughts, ideas, the mental realm. Sometimes he takes off without thoughtfulness and doesn't pay attention to where his feet are going, or sometimes even the terrain that he's moving through. So you're on a quest for some new ideas, some new ways of thinking about things, maybe even some new ways of being, because once we start thinking about something and we are in a place where we are internalizing that, because that's what happens when we think about things, right? Thoughts lead to ideas lead to action, and action leads to here we are now. So with this thought, he's a thought something, hang on 1 second. Oh, he's a thought advocate. So he's not just going to bring you one thought, he wants you to think about things more deeply. So let me just pull another card for you. Oh, and this is the everything is going to be all right card, because your problems are no bigger than a small child on a small pony. And what we look at behind, you can see the sunflowers are coming up. That takes a lot of energy. You can see that this little person is bare to the world, is baring themselves to the world, is hiding nothing. All right, so maybe that's part of why you're on this quest, is to find out what is it that I've been hiding. So I don't know about you all, but every once in a while I'll come across something. I'll be thinking about something, or I'll be writing. I've just written a new course, and I'll be doing that, and I'll be thinking things that aren't conducive to my moving forward. So when I do that, I stop myself. It used to be that I would have an elastic band around my wrist, and I would say degrading things to myself, and I would take that elastic band and I would pull it. And the reason that that worked is because nobody moves towards pain, right? We all move towards pleasure. Sometimes the pain has got to be really large and exhausting before we do that. But this little trick of putting this on your wrist, and when you say things that are derogatory to yourself, just give it a pull. So a really great tip for all of us is you're not allowed. So if you're hearing this, or if you're on the waves, you're not allowed to talk to yourself in any way other than what you would talk to a 3-year-old. So if you wouldn't say the stuff that you're saying to yourself to a 3-year-old, you're not allowed to say it to yourself. So you can all take that one. So let's see. Oh, Celie, this one is for you. So nines, completion, pentacles, money, property, tangible things. It's the earth, the element of earth. The thing about this card is that you have enough time, money, and resources to train a falcon. Okay, so how would that happen? First of all, you've got to find the falcon, and you've got to capture it. Then you've got to get used to you, and you've got to get used to it. So this is a time-consuming process. So this says that on the physical world, you have enough time, money, energy to be doing this, to luxuriate. And even if it happens that we are in a place where we don't think we have enough time and money and energy, this is bringing this home to you. So Celia, if you've been feeling stressed out, this is a beautiful thing for you to take to heart. Now, speaking of taking it to heart, when you see a card here that resonates, and I'm going to tell you that even if that card isn't for you, but it resonates with you, then think about doing something where you find it online, you enlarge it in black and white, and you color it. The act of coloring concretizes it in your body. So you want to look at this card. If it resonates with you, then by all means go ahead and find it and then color it, because it will internalize it. When you internalize a card like this, well, when you internalize any of them, what happens is that every cell of your body resonates with that. And so you begin to resonate with having everything that you want, with being able to generate the abundance that is for you. And the one thing about abundance is that there's enough abundance to go around. Everyone can have abundance, because not all of us are looking for abundance in the same way or for the same reasons. So if you are wanting that, then concretize it, color it, and remember it in your body. So let me see. Thank you, Spirit, for hanging out with us. Tora, how about one for you? Hey, Debbie, how are you? So this is another 5, and this is another, Tora, this is another great one for stop looking down, lift up your chin, and then look up. because, well, you know, there's a vastness when we look up that when we're looking down is more confined. So just that act is a physical thing. And in shamanism and in the way that we move towards being whole and healthy and fulfilled in the shamanic realm is we do physical things. Now, sometimes the physical things are absurd. Most often they're absurd. You know, like I told someone just to wear red, and that shifted it. No, it seems ridiculous, but when you do this, Torah, when you are standing there, and first of all, I invite you to look down, be all like in your looking downness, and then just take your finger, put it on your chin, lift your chin up and look around at the vast spaciousness that there is. And if it's not right in front of you, look higher. And here's a beautiful thing for when you're feeling this, like downcast, like I don't have enough. This is the I don't really have enough card. So when you're feeling this, it's a really good idea to look at around for what you do have and how it comes to you. It's also very useful to send your higher self out to your guides, to your angels, to your whoever it is that you envision that you're connected to, and to ask them, say, okay, look, I'm having a little trouble here, and so help me. And not will you help me? They will help, but you've got to ask. So ask, and then, oh, let's see what happens after the asking. All right, hold on a sec. Here we go. This one's peeking right out. Ah, death. So in order for us to let go of some things, sometimes it's got to have a death. The beautiful part and major arcana here. So right away after you do this, oh, you know, blah, 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 me, pick up your chin, turn around, look way up. Then what happens is you get a resurrection. And what a beautiful time of the year to be resurrecting, to be reborn, to let that old fall away. If we didn't do that in the autumn, we wouldn't have tulips up right now. We wouldn't have the new growth. So lift up your chin, look around, look skyward, and then let this be resurrected. In order for that to happen, you've got to drop something. So whatever it is that's going to cause this resurrection, drop it. And I'm going to tell you why I say drop it. You don't want to release something, because when you lease it, you take it on, it's yours for a certain period of time, and you pay for it, right? So when you release it, what are you doing? You're not letting it go. That's not letting it go. I mean, it is now, but that's not the meaning of the word. So drop it and think about it, Torah, like this. Okay, you're doing something, you know, you've got this thing going on and the practical world is kind of crap. And then you start to look up and you see the vastness of the sky. Then it's easy to go, oh my God, I'm so going to drop this. And so you get something in your hand. It doesn't even matter what. Hold on. Okay, so here, this was handy. Okay, so I put this in my hand and I literally, honest to God, I just drop it. And do it over and over and over and over and over until you're sick of dropping it. As soon as you're sick of dropping it, it'll drop you. So there you go. All right, let me have a little peek here. Oh, hey, Anne Reed. It's nice to see you. Ooh, I'm going way deep in here for you. So 5 lessons. In every suit, there's a lesson. You go through the 1 where it's, oh, a new beginning, and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, and then by that time you're halfway through. So it's totally time for a lesson. This lesson is on the spiritual. Just a second, I just read Travis's comment, and he's so wearing red tomorrow. Yay! I am making a difference. Okay, so Anne, this is the other thing, is maybe, and what you need is a little levity, because these guys, all of them, are there to help you. So wands are passion and fire and drive and connection to the divine. They're here to help, but they don't know what to do. And so they're just kind of like, rummaging around, knocking their sticks together. So give them direction, because this is a spiritual thing. So if you're on some kind of a spiritual quest, and your guides, your angels don't know what to do, then they're not going to be very helpful. I'll tell you another little story. So I have 35 angels. That's a lot of angels. So in the beginning, I really didn't know what to do with these angels. So I just didn't do anything with them. I didn't know any better. And then one day I thought, I'm just going to do a journey. Boom, boom at the drum, and I journeyed to where these angels were. Well, they were sitting like in round tables. There were 5 round tables with 7 at each. They were playing poker, and I was like, you guys are playing poker? And they were like, yeah, you want us to deal you in? And I'm like, no, first of all, I suck at poker. But I'm like, so you're playing poker. They said, you're not asking us, you're not giving us anything to do. So this is what we're doing until you give us something to do. So Anne, give them something to do. They want to be helpful. So I'm just going to go over here and have another little peek. And so as soon as you give them something to do, who shows up? The King of Swords, thoughts, ideas, the mental realm, but even more importantly, transformation. So put it up. You can see the moon there, and you can also see the butterflies. So this is the only one of the kings who is willing to get off his throne and help. The rest of them are fixated on their whatever it is they've got. So this king will help you. And all that you need to do is ask your guidance to help you. He will come and put things into action, because that is that's what the swords are all about. If we get an idea and we put it into action, thoughts become things, thoughts become ideas, ideas become things become us. So ask for the help and then put it into action. So there you go. All right, let me just have a peek here and see. Oh, Sibilia. I hope that's right. Your second name is Tracy. So, hey, Cindy. Hey, Gayla. How are you? Nice to see you all. All right. So, this says that you've come a long way. You still have a long way to go, Sibilia. And but you've sent your ships out. See them? There they are. There and over there. You've taken these steps, and even though you still have a long way to go, it's very useful for you to celebrate the fact that you were 1/3 of the way, because we're going to the 10, right? We started with the ace, and we're all the way to the 10. So let's have another little peek here and see what else they can tell you. All right, so tonight we're getting a lot of lessons, and I'm not surprised, because we're at a place where really we've got to figure out what's important to us. We've got to put our actions into behind our words. So if you say something is important to you, then it's important, then it's useful. It's not useful. It's mandatory that you put action behind it, because otherwise it's never going to come into fruition. So there you are. You've taken the first steps, and celebrate that. And then along comes your stinking thinking, because this is a 5. It's causing conflicts. So I see this frequently with my students who have spiritual gifts and are wanting to bring them out into the world. What will happen is their minds will go, oh, I can't do that. I don't know enough. I have to. I must. All of those things, which causes internal conflicts, so they can't actually take the next step. So this is a useful thing for you to resolve the conflict. The ways that you've been thinking, out of the 5 ways that you've been thinking, only 2 of them are worth picking up. There's 1 that's a maybe, and there's 2 absolutely positively nots. So this is, spring is a really wonderful time to do cleansing. People talk about, well, they're going to cleanse at the spring. It's physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Okay, all 3. And for us to do a spiritual cleansing, we sometimes have got to sit with our thoughts and look at them. Is that thought serving me? And if it's not, replace it with something that will. And when you talk to yourself like you're a beloved 3-year-old. That will build your confidence. It'll make you feel good. Occasionally when I'm doing something, I'm like, whoa, I'm so clever. Yeah. And Anita used to say to me, well, you really like yourself. And I would like, And when you're doing something, it's useful for you to generate that, yay, I did it, and give yourself a reward, like a cup of tea or something like that. So it concretizes it in your body. And if you're one of my enlightened spiritual warriors, and if you're not, hop on over to Enlightened Spiritual Warriors and join me. What I do is I teach over there, but we also build our successes. Right now, we're in a challenge. I'm challenging people to have 10 successes that they post every day. So a couple of days ago, I was late. I was late a whole day. Now, did I beat myself up? No, heck no. I wrote a little thing about not beating myself up, and then I did 20 successes. So when you do something that you're derogatory about yourself at, don't hold on to that. That wounding that we saw with the 9 of Wands, that's not useful for you to continue to do that. So drop that. All right, beautiful people, thank you for joining me, and I invite you to come to Enlightened Spiritual Warriors, my free Facebook group. Participate, get in on the teachings, because they happen over there, and also join me for Shamanic Tarot, which begins the 1st of May, Beltane. And we'll start with that energy. The Beltane energy is about fertility. So we'll start with that ripe and fertile energy and take it through the next couple of months. Bliss, everybody. Bye-bye.